Hello everybody, this is MyBoxxCollective and this is BarryBoxx. Yes, I used to be TechBox, but I've now turned into BarryBoxx to keep up with the BBB sounds. Now, is computer game violence related to real life? Now, this has been brought into scrutiny again. Last week, a game called Saints Row 2 was released into the general public. Sadly though, really, like Grand Theft Auto, this has been facing much scrutiny, including from the New York Police Department, which their union boss, Patrick Lynch, said, "These horrible and violent video games desensitize young people to violence while encouraging depravity, immorality and glorifying criminal behaviour." Lynch isn't the only one that's against the game. Long-time campaigner against violent video games, Jack Thompson, called Saints Row 2 a GTA rip-off, in which he suggests it pushes the envelope further than the Take-Two interactive franchise, which is Grand Theft Auto, and further along the way, which he has been pursuing against these games for a very, very long time. The National News Service also followed up on the story, looking at Leslie Crocker Snyder, who is a candidate for next year's election for the Manhattan District Attorney, saying that he is also going to support the NYPD's boss's cause. Now, I've done a number of different studies looking into these computer games, and I'm getting sick and tired of the media spotlighting video games for completely the wrong reasons. Years ago, back in 2004, it was when Stefan Pikir was killed by his friend Warren LeBlanc after it was claimed from Stefan's mum believing that the Manhunt game, which is the very first game, was to blame and put onto it. Stefan's mum put the blame of the murder on the Manhunt game, and she claimed that LeBlanc had been obsessed with the game after he had pleaded guilty. Now, the police around that time denied a link between the game and the murder itself. LeBlanc was found guilty of the murder of Stefan Pikir, but it turned out that LeBlanc did not own the game. It was actually Pikir that actually owned the game. It was also later discovered that LeBlanc may have seen a Chucky film at the cinema, and it went unnoticed because the murder that he did was exactly identical to one of the murder scenes though in Chucky. Now, while that investigation was going on, Game and Curry's refused to sell the game, worrying about upsetting their audience. Now, after the ban though was sort of lifted, they decided to sell the game, and the Manhunt franchise continued selling. Now, I had done a lot of research looking into computer game violence, and I had done a lot of research looking into video games and seeing if there was a common factor with these murders, but unfortunately there's been very little evidence, which has also really pleased me in general. I also found out from a general study from Henry Jenkins from back in 2001 that he believes that researchers that find that people serving time from violent crimes typically consume less media before committing the crimes than the average person in the general population. Jenkins does believe, though, it is true that young offenders who have committed school shootings in America have been game players, like for example the Hobkind High School shooting back in 1999. But young people in general who are more likely to be gamers, 90% of boys and 40% of girls play, he found that the majority of kids who play video games do not commit antisocial acts. What Jenkins also found in the 2001 US Surgeon General's report, the strongest risk factors for the school shootings centered on mental disability and the quality of home life, and not media exposure. He believes that moral panic over violent video games is doubtfully harmful. It has led to our adult authorities to be suspicious and hostile to many kids who have already felt cut off from the system. It also misdirects energy away from eliminating actual causes of youth violence and allows problems to continue to fester. So I have to agree though with that Surgeon General report. I mean, if we sort of like keep on blaming sort of media in general, it's more likely that it's more reflective of what's going on with just society. It's not actually glorifying the violence, it's more like being sort of reflective of what's really going on. And also, yeah, computer games are more based on entertainment. Now, I've played a lot of video games over the last 15 years, and I'll be honest with you, I've never gone out to a shop, grabbed a knife and go and stab somebody, or even go to a gun shop and get a gun and shoot somebody. I think the media are just taking this a bit too harshly though, in my opinion, and I think, you know, we need to sort of like step back and find out what really is the problem. I think, yeah, we need to have a look at how we live and how we treat each other. I think that's more important than just blaming a video game or a film. That's it, everybody, and thanks for watching. This has been BarryBoxx of the MyBoxxCollective, signing out.